Everyone, this is daveac on blip.tv. I've noticed looking back at one or two of the older recordings that I always seem to have this sort of strange position right at the start. Let me just explain that. It's that I actually do this live, as people who've seen these shows before will know. By that I mean I do it in a single take. So I actually have to lean forward and start the camera. And that image of me at the beginning going like this, as though I'm in shock or horror, is just me drawing back from the camera, having started it. And again, I do that at the end, of course, to close up. Well, we're going to start off with a little bit of sad news. It's the Friday, the 16th of January 2009. And there's been a couple of deaths reported a week or so back, but just this last week, two. One was Patrick McGoohan, who obviously was most famous for two big roles in Danger Man and then The Prisoner. I Am Not a Number. That was, in actual fact, that has been in the news recently because of this remake that's going ahead with Jim Caviezel. Hope I pronounced his name correctly. Somebody who's in one of my favourite science fiction films called Frequency. He also played Jesus in a film about 5 years ago, and he's been in a number of other good films. An absolutely stunning actor. But I think quite a few of us older science fiction fans had hoped that Patrick McGoohan might make a small cameo part in that remake. Unfortunately, sadly, just around 80 years of age or so, he's died. And there's not really much Doctor Who news, but the news that we have is the sad news again, that John Scott Martin, who is obviously not as well known as Patrick McGoohan, but to us Doctor Who fans, he was the Dalek lead controller or operator or whatever you want to call it, and he appeared in well, according to Lewis, I haven't checked, from Doctor Who Podshot, he was in hundreds, well, over 100 of the Doctor Who episode stories. And of course he did actually appear on screen as a minor in, I think it was The Green Death. So, and the thing is that we keep losing these people, and it is sad. So, an opportunity for people who've got the DVD, I'm pretty sure that's out now, to check out The Green Death if they're interested in the older or classic series, as we now call them. Talking about Lewis and Doctor Who Podshot, episode 137 is now out on the second iTunes feed, and I do want to remind people, if you actually use iTunes to get the Guy on the Frayed Embassy Doctor Who Podshot, there are two feeds. There's the live feed and then there are the studio ones. Now the studio ones are a variation between the ones done with Ken Lewis and James together, and sometimes they're sort of slightly cleaned up versions of the talk show ones. And this was the one where we're talking about the next Doctor, which was of course the Christmas special. And the live show went well over 2 hours, and Lewis has therefore taken the decision to chop it up for the studio feed into 2 hour-long bites. So the first one of those, number 137, is now up for you to download. And don't forget, while you're on iTunes, to download or subscribe to, if you'd like to, the CIS, our Cultdom in Audio, that also goes out on the Sunday and is also a sister podcast to Doctor Who Podshot. We did about quantum leaps and short trips this Sunday just gone. It was a delayed one because we'd had the news about the new Matt Smith playing the Doctor, so that had been delayed. And this coming Sunday, which is 2 PM Eastern Standard Time, we will be talking about the Back to the Future trilogy. So you time travel in a DeLorean, do you? Right. So hopefully that will go ahead. Whether we'll talk about some of the other bits of news about Patrick McGoohan and maybe talk a little bit about The Prisoner. I don't know. That will be up to Wes or Ian or myself, whoever's hosting. Right, so that's mainly the science fiction news, although one other thing on science fiction, I went to see The Day the Earth Stood Still, and I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. I still think the Michael Rennie original is virtually unbeatable, but Keanu Reeves, I thought he did quite a good job, and of course Jennifer Connelly played the lead actress against him, and I love seeing her in lots of stuff. See Dark City. If you haven't seen Dark City, check her out in that. She's phenomenal in that. But yeah, no, I thought it was good. There were one or two little plot holes, but basically I thought Keanu Reeves did it well. I mean, he's good for that sort of underplaying, slightly offbeat, slightly non-zen-like figure that's slightly unemotional, and I enjoyed it. Okay, what's been happening on the forums, on the internet, should I say? Well, one of the things is that I've now set this vblog that when it goes out, Blip TV automatically sends a Twitter out on to daveac on Twitter. Unfortunately, when I upload it, the Blip site actually has to re-encode it into the fly format. So the little message goes out, you know, the next episode of daveac is now available, but it's not, because it's about a half hour after it's been recoded before it becomes available. So just bear that in mind, please. Like lots of things. I mentioned before that there'd been lots of news on the internet about CES. Well, one of the sites I recommended, I just want to use my little picture frame thing, is the AV, I know you probably can't read that, but the AV TV forums. They've done a marvellous job in getting little snippets and little videos, and that's the site. That's just showing them sitting at the CES side. So it's avforums.tv. Please go and check that out. And while I've got my little picture thing here, let me just go to the next picture I wanted to show you. I've bought my own domain, and now it's just a bit of fun really, but I found that 123 Register, which does a lot of nominate, a company that does this for you in the UK, I went to it and I've set up daveac, you won't be able to read it again, home domain, and at the moment the basic package I'm on, you just get a single page, and you're really paying for your domain name, and the domain name is no www, it's just daveac.co.uk, daveac.co.uk, and on that single page at the moment all I'm doing is linking all my other sections and sites that I'm on, you know, YouTube, Twitter, Photobucket, Facebook, MySpace, oh, the list goes on, TweetPic, and I'm adding to it all the time. So that's something to check out. And one more little picture to just show on my here. Hopefully this is better. I found a little free, this was from one of the podcasts I listened to, Click, from the BBC. It used to be called Click Online, it's now called Click. And I went to the website, and on their webscape they were mentioning a free photo editing software called paint.net, and I downloaded it. It's not a big download, and it's quite a neat little feature. It has one of these auto-correct things. The little picture I'm editing there is it's actually a picture of a local railway station, Staley Bridge, and they've got a pub on it. And the reason for that is that one of the other programmes I watch called Oz and Clark, that go, they do the wine programme, Oz and James, sorry. They've done Oz and James in France, they've done Oz and James in California, now they're doing Oz and James Drink to Britain, and they're going around the UK testing mostly beers, but whiskies and other British wines and so on. And that pub is only about 1.5 miles away from me, and that was one of the ones we visited. It's a pub on the actual railway station. So, the little program, paint.net, check it out. It's a free download. I'm not sure whether there's a Mac version. I've got a feeling there might be, but of course that was for Windows. And I've talked a long time again. Blimey. Let me just see. Oh yeah, one other piece of news on the internet. The BBC iPlayer, that I know outside the UK you can't watch the television programmes, but you can listen to the radio shows. I'm always banging on about BBC 7. Well, they're now developing for 2009 the BBC Visual Radio Player, and that's in beta at the moment. And I think the Chris Moyles morning radio show and one or two other shows you can actually watch while you're listening. Now, I don't think this is like a still webcam that things have had, although it could be. I haven't really checked it out, but the idea is that you can actually see the DJ while he's doing the show. So that's something to check out. And the other thing that they were saying on the BBC blog, which is a great place to find out what's happening, the latest news is that they're trying to integrate into the BBC iPlayer more social networking. The idea being that you can see something on the BBC iPlayer and you can send a quick text to your mates to watch it as well, and send them a direct link about it. And maybe even you can get to a situation where you and your friends can be watching it together, and maybe even interacting while you do it. So that's the big push that they're going to be doing for 2009. And I've taught, oh my goodness me, I'm going to have to rush again. No book this week because I'm still doing the Demon Princes. I've got 5 of those. I've nearly finished the first one. I've got 4 more. So there may be no books for 2 or 3 shows. A teaser now. The Blu-ray I was telling you about has arrived, but it only just came yesterday. How the West Was Won on Blu-ray. I seem to do this with 2 sleeves now. So hopefully next week I will be talking in greater length about How the West Was Won. I'm going to have to move quickly now. I want to do a classical music, and this week again with violin music, and Sophie Mutter, Brahms, violin concertos, an EMI classic. And I've got that set up. Let's see if we can hear a bit of it. Just turn it down a minute. I'm not sure whether in the UK the Dalgleish stories with Roy Marsden, they used this as the music for Cover Her Face and the Black Tower and so on. I'll have to turn it off in a minute. I think they did. I think they used it for the Dalgleish mysteries. Right, I'm going to have to stop that there. That is absolutely brilliant. And of course, let me pause that. And Sophie Mutter, absolutely brilliant. Alex Wessenberg is on the piano with her. Okay. Oh, rush. Well, I can go to the wine now, and again, a slightly unusual wine for me. It's a type of wine I've never tried before. I occasionally do drink rosés. I prefer a rosé to a white, really, although I mainly drink red wines. But this is a new one for me because it's a Zinfandel rosé. Now, I tried a little bit of it. It's been in the fridge a couple of days ago. I just had 1 glass of it. So I haven't really had a proper go at it. It's been out of the fridge now about half an hour, 20 minutes. So it's Beringer Californian Collection Zinfandel Rosé, only 10% proof, although in actual fact some rosés are only 7 or 8. 2007, I said that. Beautiful colour. And it's got an intriguing, I don't know, I mean, I know it's called a rosé, but it is almost a rose petal. It's a very fragrant smell. Oh, that is delightful. The nearest fruit I can think to describe it is pomegranate. Let me have another taste. It's lovely. There's no citrus, not really citrusy. It's a smooth, melony, pomegranate taste with a little bit of a floral or a scented, not rose scented, but that sort of thing. Again, I'm an out-and-out amateur with this, but that is the most delightful, refreshing thing. I mean, to have that in the garden with a light lunch, I can't think of a better match. It is absolutely delightful, and one of the nicest ones I've tasted doing this show as I do in the afternoon. It's now 1:30 in the afternoon, and sometimes drinking a heavy Cabernet Sauvignon or a big Shiraz, although my favourite drink, it seems strange drinking it at this time, but this, I've delayed my lunch, I want to eat now. I could just eat a nice, I wish it was summer, I'd eat a nice ploughman's lunch with this, some nice cheeses are, a nice bit of cold meat. Oh, it is like, yeah, pomegranates is the only word I can come up with. Maybe sort of a melony, but there's no grapefruit or there's no citrus in it really. It's smooth, it's lush, it's flowery, not flowery, rose petally, I suppose that's the one you could come up with. But it is absolutely delightful, and I'm going to end on that. One more look at the bottle, because I've been ignoring prices recently. That's because some of the wines I did just recently I actually got given me as presents for Christmas, so I didn't know the exact price. I think this one is about £5 or £6, maybe £7 sometimes. So that's what, $8 to $10. Beringer California Collection Zinfandel Rosé, and if my mate Ian is listening, I'm going to try and save some of that for Sunday to mention it with him. So that's Dave AC finishing off vblog 026. I'll catch you next week, I hope, and don't forget, oh, and one last thing. The reason why I have that little label there is, although you may be watching this on Blip TV, I found that these videos of mine have appeared on about a dozen different video sites, and I want people to know that they can go to the Blip TV site to see all the rest of the recorded shows. Oh, so until next week, this is Dave AC on Blip TV saying